everyone! Today I'm going to be sharing with you my June TBR. I'm actually filming this a bit early, so there is a possibility that I may finish one of these books before June, but I seriously doubt it, so I'm just going to show you all the books anyway, and if I finish one, like, who really cares? So the first 4 books that I have 8 books on my TBR because I think in June I'm probably going to be going back to work at least a little bit, so I won't have quite as much free time for reading, so I only picked out 8 books for June, and the first 4 are actually like leftover books from my last 2 TBRs, I think. So I'm gonna go over these ones really quickly because I've already talked about them so many other times. The first one we have is Enchantée, which again, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but this is a historical fiction book set in Paris, and I think it has some kind of fantastical elements to it. Then we have The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. This is a mystery slash maybe a thrillery kind of book. It has been compared to Clue and Agatha Christie, which are 2 of my favorite things, so I'm very excited for this book. And then we have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is also set in Paris and also historical fiction. I love Paris and anything set there, so I'm drawn to a lot of books set there as well. So this is a chunker of a book. I'm not sure if I'll get to it in June or the entirety of it, but I do hope to at least start it in June. And a lot of people love this, so I'm hoping once I start it, I'll like fly through it and it won't seem quite as daunting as it is. And the last book that's left over from my other TBRs is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This is a very popular thriller book. I actually don't really know what the premise of it is, despite it being super duper popular, so I'm kind of going into this book blind, but I read her short story called The Grown Up and I really loved it, so I want to check out some of her other work, and this is her most popular one, so hopefully I enjoy this as well. This next book actually has been featured in quite a few other TBRs, but not on any super recently, so clearly I haven't been very good at getting around to reading this book, but fingers crossed this month I will actually read it, and that is The White Queen by Philippa Gregory. This is, I don't even remember what book in a very large series that she has. I don't really think you have to read them in order, or you have to read all of the books in the series if you don't want to, but I read The Red Queen last year, and I enjoyed it enough to pick up this one, which runs parallel to it, so I just kind of want to have a completed story. So hopefully, I actually heard this one was better than The Red Queen, so hopefully I really enjoy this one as well. I've also been really in the mood for romance books, so I might pick up Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This book I have a bit of a history with. I heard so many great things about it, like so many people love this book, and so I actually purchased it full price, I think at Target, and it was very expensive. It's like the exclusive collector's edition. It has, you know, fan art on the inside. It was a lot of money because I was so sure that I was going to love this book, and then I read the first 100 pages of it, wasn't into it at all, and I DNF'd it with the intention of hopefully picking it up later. I'm really hoping that whenever I had read it that first time, it just wasn't the right time to read it, and hopefully now is the right time because I really want to love this book and get my money's worth out of it. So hopefully I love it this time. Next on my list is Supernova by Marissa Meyer. This is the 3rd and final book in the Renegades series trilogy. I don't know if it has a different like official title, but the first book is Renegades, the 2nd book is Arch Enemies, and I read the first 2 books and I really enjoyed them, so I wanted to read the 3rd one, which I normally would have just gotten it from the library like I did with the 2nd book, but since I can't get any books from the library, I decided to just bite the bullet and I bought this book online, and finally it arrived after a very long time, so I'm happy to finally be able to complete this trilogy. It is a lot bigger than I thought it was. I thought like the first 2 books in the series were chunky, but this one seems like it's even bigger, so I'm a little intimidated by it, but I do really want to find out how this trilogy ends, so I'm very excited for that. And the final book on my TBR is one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and that is The Betrothed by Kira Cass. She is the author of the Selection series, which I read back in 2016 when I first started my channel, and I loved all of those books. I also read her Siren book, and I loved that one as well. I just absolutely loved everything that this author wrote, and since then I feel like she's kind of been criticized for her work, which is a shame. I haven't like reread it since then, so I can't really share my opinion on it. I just know that I have very fond memories of reading The Selection and all of her books back in 2016, so I've been waiting years and years for her to write another book, and now she finally has has, and it's been getting a lot of not so good reviews, so I'm a little bit worried about picking this book up. But I'm trying to go into it with like no expectations or the thoughts of things I've read from other people in my mind. As far as I know, I'm not sure if this is dystopian like her selection series is. I don't know exactly when it's supposed to be taking place, but it does take place in some sort of world where we have a lot of like kings and queens and that kind of thing. And so we're following this girl who I guess gets chosen by the king like to be his wife, but she ends up falling in love with somebody else. It sounds like a pretty interesting story, and like I said, I've really been into like romance books lately, so I really hope that I love this book. Even if it's not, you know, the best book ever, I'm hoping it'll at least be a lot of fun to read, and yeah. That is all. So those are all the books on my TBR. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. Let me know which ones you think I should get to first and prioritize. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!
You hear that, Samson?